Excuse the interruption, but we're getting breaking news on the Philadelphia. Apparently, just moments ago, there was an accident.
What's unique about Command & Conquer 3 is that, unlike other games, you're the commander and the actors address you directly.
This is Joe Kukin from Command & Conquer 3.
For C&C, we really felt that we had to have actors, human beings, delivering the story because there's a degree of richness that comes across in the performance that you just cannot get out of digital characters right now.
We discussed everything. We discussed live action, we discussed CG actors.
Command & Conquer was known as a sort of pioneer of the live action, what was known at the time as FMVs.
In the end, the audience expectation of what a C&C game is all about won out, and we went with the FMVs.
I mean, how many games do you play where you really interact or that you literally emotionally get involved with?
There are a lot of people on the team who have tremendous passion for the Tiberium universe and adore the game fiction with Kane and GDI and Nod and Tiberium. It's just a very compelling world and one that we're all very attached to emotionally since this is what got a lot of us into real-time strategy games.
The overall vision for the cinematics in C&C3 was, number one, to give it a higher production value than they've ever had before, really modern look. The camera work, have a real documentary feel to it. The overall stylization, somewhat like Three Kings, the film, where it has this bleach bypass look. And to just give it a really, high-end production value.
Bringing in live actors and full motion video to the game really takes everything up a level. It's more difficult that way because you have to translate what's very tiny and from a whole different sort of camera view in the game in something that's much more intimate and character based. And you're sort of thinking about both things the whole time you're making this game because the full motion video was such a big part of the previous Command & Conquer games.
But once we realized the potential of what we had here, we went all out.
A war to end all wars. Go ahead, my son. Push the button. Inscribe your place in history with the blood of GDI.
Command, all hell's broken loose. Nod's launched preemptive strikes in every major blue zone across the board.
And Kane has sown the seeds of his own destruction.
Commander, I need your help. I've requested reinforcements in Australia. Kane refused.
When this all works out, tell Kane who drew up the plan.
The casting of the game was interesting because we really wanted a range of people. We wanted some actors in there that had science fiction history. I mean, Lando Calrissian, I mean, how can you beat that?
Let me tell you who we are. We are the ones the public has entrusted to protect them. We have a responsibility to uphold that trust.
These are complicated characters who have interesting conflicts. We knew we had to find the right people to play these characters, and we were really gratified as we went through the casting process to find people like Billy D. Williams and TRICIA HELFER and Grace Park and Josh Holloway all express interest in being a part of this project because they like the story and they like the characters they were going to play.
I think the more important audience expectation is Kane, that people wanted to go back to that character.
It's great to be back as Kane. You know, I originated the character just over 10 years ago and have revised the role a couple times since then. I thought that I was done with the character after a long hiatus in the C&C franchise. It felt like maybe we weren't going to get to see this character again, but I am just tickled that here I am back in the saddle and once again poised to take over the world.
Joe Kukin's a surprisingly captivating actor, And the guy hasn't aged a day since the previous C&C games.
The wheels of war are in motion, our destiny within grasp. The Philadelphia was only the beginning. Our forces will spread like a great plague across the earth. Every blue zone will feel our wrath. But for you, my son, I have reserved the most important mission of all, taking the northeastern blue zone. We have a secret attack force awaiting your command. You must show no mercy, for GDI deserves none.
Kane has his own agenda. He is very ruthless and focused on his ultimate goal, which at times is not entirely clear.
Now, my son, you must help me unveil phase 2 of this campaign. Background isn't impossible. That's
Killian is Kane's second in command. She got there by definitely being less to Kane, letting him feel like he has the ultimate power.
General Qatar tells me you two have never met, but I'm sure you've heard of her deeds. Besides yourself, she is the greatest military asset we have. Philadelphia's strike was her idea.
My idea, yes. But it was your vision that made it possible. But yet also watching his every move and understanding and being aware. So she believes in him wholeheartedly and has followed him, but she is also aware of everything. It seems a single GDI command is aggression. We will obey. Aggression. We will obey. That was all it is. Kane, he's overreaching without fear of punishment.
2210. So you're the one everyone's been talking about. Legendary insurgent. I hope you're as good as they say you are, Commander. So we're throwing you right in the frying pan. Yes, this is my first video game, and I'm proud to be attached to this particular franchise, C&C.
We're getting Josh Holloway at a time when he is at the top of his game. He's this huge new star, and to have him in our game when he's, suddenly one of the most famous faces in the world is really exciting.
Right now, time to take the war to GDI. Take it right into their big, fat, overstuffed living rooms. This was interesting and challenging to do because it's one camera, kind of one take, what we call a oneer, all the way through. Man, this is really getting crazy. Check out this new target I just got from Central Command. I'll upload the coordinates for you. So it's different, and as an actor, I had to take that in consideration, going, yeah, this is good. And it's a game, it's fun, it's got that element of, I don't want to say camp, but that, that fun element. The games begin. Okay. Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Obviously, one of the major differences in doing this type of thing and doing what I do on Lost, television show or movies, is you avoid looking at the camera at all times. You never want to find yourself staring into there because it breaks the fourth wall, kind of. Wish I could tell you what Kane's got planned, but then I'd have to kill you. Just kidding. But seriously, I envy you, brother. The world's about to change and you're going to be right there in the thick of it. It's an exciting time to be Nod. If you need me, Commander, I got your back.
I've really wanted to do something like this, I thought it would be really fun to just do something different and different challenge, so it was really exciting when they called, and they barely got it out. They're like, we'd like you to do Command & Conquer 3. I was like, yes, 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 I'm saying yes.
I still can't believe this is actually happening.
I'm in my head imagining this person or this being that's on the other side of it that I'm interacting with and giving them instructions doing this, and it's almost like an acting exercise. You feel like, okay, I've created an idea of who this person is, and I'm interacting with them, and I'm responding to them and giving them something to work off of.
All right, Commander, here's the latest. Nod forces are going in for the kill, closing in on the Pentagon. As you know, there is no more vital structure in the region. It is the center of our command and control network.
I think Kiersey is very, very, very loyally rooted in her GDI background. I mean, I don't think she sees the Nod effort is something she would ever support in any way, shape, or form. She seems very loyal, and you know, anytime she's giving information about something Nod has done, there's a sense of urgency to, we need to take care of this. These people are not. This is not good.
If we lose the Pentagon, it could be the beginning of the end. You cannot let this happen.
Excellent work, Commander. Just as we hoped, your victory set an example for the rest of our forces. Now we've got strike teams all over the board taking down those damn towers.
Actually, we just got word. There's only one tower still left standing.
Jack Granger, he's a lifer. Fairly pragmatic, straightforward, militaristic type person who believes in a moral and ethical way of doing things. It's not just enough to win. There's a proper way of doing that. The prediction is another decade of peace. I say it's the calm before the storm. What I found interesting is talking directly to the camera and having to find a generalized personality that I had to relate to. Knowing that the fellow sitting out there could be any male, female, ranging from 16 to 66, and different mode of dress at different times of day with different forms of food in their hand while they're playing. So that try and find a way that you could, in a very general sense, be able to relate to them and have them relate to you without being overbearing. Look, the good news is Boyle's a sharp man with control of the purse strings, and we're going to need every penny we have to win this. I found it a nice acting problem.
General Granger, Redmond Boyle, this is an honor.
This is a very interesting video game. This kind of hits home for me. I mean, this is the kind of game that I could get into.
This time is different. This time, the public will accept nothing less than total victory.
Because, you know, here you're thrust into the situation as a player. You're thrust into this whole situation that's going on. And it's like everything can go up in smoke, or you can make a choice that you know, where you can buy time.
The public wants payback, an eye for an eye, and that's exactly what we're going to give them.
With all due respect, Director, the public has heard these kind of promises in the past.
John Powell once said, "The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing."
My first scene was with Billy D. Williams, you know, acting Director Boyle. And he is, of course, you know, I remember him from the Star Wars series, and I've seen him in some things after Star Wars. And so here he is right in front of me, and I'm a news anchor, and so here I am acting with Billy D. Williams. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The future, our future, it's now in the hands of this madman.
Well, Electronic Arts decided that in the third installment of their Command & Conquer series, they would actually use real-life reporters and news people in their game, and they reached out to me and asked me if I would be one of these news reporters. With victories here in the New Eden Blue Zone, GDI forces have sent the invaders into a surprising Red Zone retreat. This same pattern of enemy withdrawal appears to be happening all over the world.
You have the GDI, which is more military in feel. They follow the rules. They go by the book a little bit more.
What is it, Sandra?
The ion cannon's been engaged, sir.
On whose authority?
Director Boyle. I would describe Sandra Telfair as very loyal. Well, I guess I would say like a staunch loyalist for the GDI, the Global Defense Initiative. And her being lieutenant, she's really sharp, and she's in intelligence operations, or INOPS. And I think this exposure and this kind of work is really going to help her work her way up and eventually get her own command.
Lieutenant.
The largest tower, the one closest to completion, is in Italy, where this whole Tiberium mess started over 50 years ago. I think it's kind of unusual in this game that we're having live action, and so we had to go through fittings and makeup and hair.
And got to put on the costume for the first time, which was really fun, and get to see the detail and kind of get a little bit of info on, you know, the character more so than I had at that point.
Creating Killian's costume was really complicated because there were the design of the costume was so complicated, and The person that was wearing it, Trish HELFER, is very thin and very tall, which was wonderful, but it was almost like making a miniature costume for someone.
I've always been interested to see what I'd look like in some sort of kind of warrior suit. Cool. I'm just so used to it choking. I knew it was tighter. And so I was really thrilled when the actual costume came, and it was fully made of leather and really well done. And I put it on, and the only problem was at first when we first put it on, it was so new and shiny, and you're like, wow, you need to tack it down if you're supposed to be out in the field and he's in the tent, and you know, he's a field agent. So, you know, we did some fittings, tighten it up, get it fitted to the body, and then the wardrobe tacked it down, it really turned out nice.
Well, actually, when I first got the concept sketches, that's all they were concept sketches. They weren't really detailed costume design sketches.
The only costume that was designed with the actor in mind was Kane's. Everybody else, the costume designs were pretty far along before the casting was done. But with Kane, in the previous games, there was a lot of sort of very sculptural rubber elements and leather elements and stuff that to me felt a little dated now. For sci-fi, they felt like a look that sci-fi did enough times already in the 80s and 90s. And so what I wanted to do with Kane was really make it more religious than anything else. And so his outfit is designed to be very sort of priestly, because I wanted to play up that whole angle, particularly in the full motion video sequences, even more than the real game.
Well, the look in the new C&C3 game compared to the franchise in the past is that they were on a very limited budget. The technology has changed immensely from then till now. So there was kind of, I would call it a kitsch quality to them. And a little corny. And so this is much more serious. That doesn't mean it doesn't have a sense of humor here and there. But the look of it is just so much more rich, so much more dramatic.
The set pieces themselves, we were approached by Cherie Baker, I believe. She brought all these design pieces. This woman brought us some of the most detailed work I've ever seen. I've worked on quite a few big shows and small ones, and some of the designers are kind of lazy with what they do because they rely on you to come up with it all. Not her. She walked in the door and just had it laid out flat. Had little tiny models of what she thought it would look like, where it should be. It was just incredible. But her choice in colors and the choice of the palette that we had to use, we brought out our best metallics and things because she wanted to flavor this thing, and some stuff to be a very dark metallic, other was concrete, and we had to faux these pieces into place.
People love what they see in Command & Conquer 3. We know we're on the right track, and we know that live action has a place in future C&C games.
All in all, this has been a really wonderful experience, and you know, something I'm really looking forward to checking out and seeing how it all comes together. But it's been a really fun process, and you know, new learning experience. It's been fun to do something other than Sawyer, just as an actor, to stretch a little bit.
Designing the look of Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars has been so exciting. It's been a journey. It's been a really fun ride.
So I think Command & Conquer really did Command & Conquer. I watched everybody looking at it as if it was straight on, let's get this done, nail that, put that there, set this up, one after another. It was really impressive. It was I'd say it's just as good as working on any movie I've ever worked on.
We've done something that feels very true, at least it feels very true to me, to the original C&C games. It feels like it sort of has the essence and the magic of C&C when it comes to the story and the characters and the way we shot it. But you know, ultimately the people who play the game are going to help us decide what kind of a future live action has.
First and foremost, I would have to say thank you. I truly feel blessed and flattered and humbled by the responses that I've seen on the forums and on the message boards, on the C&C fan sites, on my own personal fan sites. They I'm constantly surprised. I'm constantly flattered. I'm constantly humbled by what I see out there, and I want to thank everybody for that, because it truly was the reason that I came back into this role and came back to work on Command and Conquer.
So we all have put a lot of energy and a lot of care into creating this game. We wanted the fans who were C&C fans to really get their money's worth, both in gameplay, so it's just a strategy game that you just love playing and that really heavy strategy game players will really enjoy. But someone who's never played a strategy game can play it and really enjoy it. But we really have worked hard the whole team on every level, to make something really unique, really special, and I hope everybody loves it.